It should be working, but of course it doesn't work without me watching ads on my own stuff. There we go. Hold on. All right, I think audio is working. All right, so we're doing Ernest P. Worrell this evening, also known as uh, well, it's Jim Varney, also known as Ernest P. Worrell, from movies like Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail and different films like that, which he was pretty popular for. And I made tonight's model with those two movies, Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Goes to Camp, and just some random images of him I pulled off of Google outside of that. Give me 1 second here. And so I'll go ahead and put on, the proper headgear, because Ernest has always got to be wearing kind of a gray hat. I don't have one just like his, but because it says meathead, but that kind of seems like something he would have worn anyway. So here goes. I don't know how well that actually kind of works around the forehead. It's getting a little jittery, but you can see Ernest has a bunch of crazy facial expressions that he does, and it pans out pretty well here for a live model. I don't know, this is still like the forehead shadow is making that corner jitter a little bit. But anyways, make a little space here. So yeah, you can do like you can wink on both sides, and we can get big smiles and make him look kind of sad. And some of his I don't know how many you guys were fans of his, but he always did stuff like he was like a janitor slash kind of fix it guy, so he'd have to clean up kind of a nasty mess or something, and he'd go like, and this model is very responsive to all his crazy facial expressions, so you can do kind of like and and which is a little bit challenging with a lot of people that I've used for these, because most of them don't do that many crazy facial expressions. You might get like one or two. Even getting people to like kind of do stuff like this, and tilt their head back at all, it's like kind of hard to find footage of people doing that to some degree. But with Ernest here, I seem to have, or Jim, I guess, I have a pretty good selection of images from him. Like I said, I ripped 2 full Blu-rays to make this. I think it's about just shy of 30,000 images, but again, he goes through a wide array of crazy facial expressions, and so you get a lot of varied stuff here. Let me just kind of screw around it. And it kind of messes up the corners a little bit, but it actually does do most of it with the deep fake instead of like my face poking through. So there's a lot of range. I can't do his voice. I wish I could. Even the tongue kind of works better than most of them, where it's it can almost extend outside of the mouth, which I've never seen it work like that in a deep fake before. So maybe I just need to find uh, that might be challenging to do. But like with Dwayne Johnson, I was getting at least a little bit of that, because a lot of his pictures he's making like crazy facial expressions as well. And so maybe that is possible to get a tongue to work, and stick out your tongue at people. Mm, kind of like it really can't extend beyond the mask. I guess we're kind of getting into 3 dimensions at that point, or maybe it's a 4th dimension. But anyways, there's like a I don't have a pen up here. I was looking for one, because there's like a scene from Ernest Goes to Jail where he's doing jury duty, and he's sitting there in the courtroom, and he starts chewing on his pen like to try to make it look like he's thinking, and he starts getting ink all over himself, and it just gets worse and worse no matter how much he does it. Like, he just says like, mm, I don't know, whatever. It's I wish I had something like that would work better for this. I don't want to get ink all over myself, but just like, by the end of it, like he's taking little pieces of like crumpled up paper from his notepad and he's trying to, wipe the ink off his face, and it's just getting worse and smeared everywhere. And like the judge is like, do you need help or something? And he goes, I'm fine, thank you very much. Except he doesn't sound like that, but. Mm, 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 but pretty much covers all the angles pretty good. So, anyways, this model will be available on the Google Drive, of course, here, which is linked in the description of the video. I don't have that uploaded yet. That's something I should have put in the title of the damn video. Is that this is I'm running this on the new RTX 4090. That probably would get some more views if I had any sense in my head. And let me see. One sec. I don't know if that'll screw with anything or not. Hopefully it doesn't kill the stream just to change the name of it. Probably won't. But yeah, the RTX 4090. So even with some settings turned up, I'll take the hat off just so you guys can see. I actually killed the shut the forehead off on it in the settings. Like if I turn it on, it just seems like it's like you have to blur it a little too much, and then you lose some frame rate. Let's see if I can. Yeah, even then, his forehead is kind of pronounced. But turn that back down a little bit. And then just shut off the forehead. I think it looks better on me without it. Especially if you're wearing a hat, you really can't see it anyway. And the frame rate right now, the camera is set to like 720p, 1280 by 720, and the model, of course, is 320 resolution, and I'm getting a frame rate of about 35 to 36 frames per second, whereas before I might have been getting with the 3090 Ti and or the RTX A6000 with comparable model settings was like in the high 20s. So we went from being kind of borderline in the kind of stuttering to having pretty fluid facial expressions and movements. Even like sucking your cheeks and it still works pretty good. Well, it doesn't look like really getting anybody in here viewing tonight. Yes. Sorry, I had a message. Sorry, I had a Facebook messenger message. So, anyways, doesn't look like I have that many people in for this stream this time. I know Jim is saying, yeah, sorry. Say, I know that Jim is not, I don't want to say as well known, but he's kind of an older actor now and probably fading from memory from some people a little bit. I am trying to find something that works for him with Jim Carrey because not because of both Jims, but because Jim does crazy facial expressions, Jim Carrey does, and Jim Varney also does really excellent wild and crazy facial expressions. And I figured anything that Jim has acted in, Jim Carrey with Jim, anything that Jim Carrey is in, Varney would look pretty good in as well. It just seems like for some reason Gan is taking forever once again to finish. And so anyways, I just went ahead and exported the live model, which I think turned out pretty good. And I will have it available for you guys here in a few minutes on the live, or on the live. Oh, sorry, there he is. Hey, Tutorials, how you doing? Yes, I did get the 4090. I got that on the I ordered it on the 12th. I did not receive it until I want to say Wednesday of last week. So I've had it for like a week now, but didn't get around to really reviewing it until like the end of last week to get that video up. It took kind of a while to process and whatnot, but it's like I said, it makes a pretty big difference in the Deepfacelab frame rates. In fact, let me see if I've still got Morgan Freeman in here. I do. Don't know. I think this is the more recent one I've got. Hold on. Yeah, like oh, hold on, that's bad. Kill that. Color transfer, and I don't know. Let me see. Oh, that's weird. Oh, you know, that's still turned up. I don't think I. Well, then maybe I do still need that. Let me try the other one. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe this is the better one. Maybe they're about the same. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not really getting that much hair out of him. The teeth on it are a little bit, like the upper teeth, they're a little bit less defined than I'd like them to be. But other than that, yeah, and this is 512, and it's still getting. Actually, hold on, I could probably improve it a little bit more on the frame rate because it doesn't need any erosion for a head model. One sec. Probably get rid of some of that green. There we go. Yeah. Again, aside from this one, probably needs a little bit more training time to get the teeth a little bit more sharpened. But this is getting like 25 frames a second. Yeah, if I can find one that works really well. Most of them are really laggy and aren't even really all that convincing yet. Um, I need to just work on doing the voice myself. That would probably be fine. To work on the way he talks, and then I would just need to practice. Something like that. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had a message. But yeah, Morgan, oh yeah, and this is all from one. Actually, like the quality of the video that I used wasn't super amazing. It was like 720p, but pretty good quality and fairly close up. And it was like a 30-minute stretch of him being interviewed for like a SAG award or something. I always like to try to find stuff like that because it's like they talk for a really long time, and sometimes they take questions from the audience or something, so they're turning their head around, and that didn't do so good. But addressing, a lot of people. Actually, hold on, I don't think that's even set up to 512 yet. Hold on, sorry, they might be able to get that. Yeah, there you go. Well, there went the frame rate. So, oh, it's picking back up. Now it's like 21 and a half. Definitely sharper. Teeth still need a little more time, but you can see that the eyes and like the skin detail and the hair has got more detail now. I forgot to turn up the resolution to the right setting, so that made a difference. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, I got it all from like one long SAG award thing because for head models, it's like it's got to come from pretty much one source because the hair's got to be identical, and in his case, he's got a beard and everything too, and it's like he's even wearing like some earrings. You can see that like I got those in there, and it's got to be able to get everything. I even got the neck to some degree, but the neck is kind of doing weird things, and I don't know. That's the first time I've tried to include the neck in one of the live models, so I think that's better. Like as long as you've got like a collared shirt and it's kind of hidden or something, and you don't move around a lot, like you get away with it. Hey Magnus, let me go back to Ernest, dude. I was just we were testing to see how Morgan Freeman would run on the third or the 4090. Let me go back to Varney. One sec. Put that back down to 320. Turn off the head model. And I gotta readjust some settings. Something like that. There you go. Sharpness is fine. Turn up a little bit, but it starts to like get that jittering if you turn up the sharpness too much. I don't know what's up with that. I wish that was something that because you can get a little too sharp, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't do his voice right, man, but like he has pretty crazy facial expressions. I was showing earlier, Magnus. It's like you can kind of mm, 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 mm. All right. It's pretty stretchy. They go like my Christian Bale model. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I think they all kind of look a little bit like me when they're on me, if that makes sense. Oh, hold on. But get all the angles here, and Like I was showing, I got the the proverbial Ernest hat. He's always got like his same kind of outfit on, and he's got his little hat. But mine says meathead on it, but I didn't have a plain hat, so this is what I got. I usually wear hats because they don't fit my head that well. He's always making noises like that when he's cleaning up, like like when he's got to plunge a toilet or something like that. And Ernest goes to camp and he goes in. But yeah, yeah, dude, this one is like I say, Jim Varney is kind of on par with Jim Carrey for his his crazy facial expressions. I used two movies to make this. I used Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail. I have both those on Blu-ray. I actually had to get the one off eBay, and then I ripped both of those, and so I ended up with like around 28,000 images or something. But you get pretty good. There's a lot of scenes like in the Ernest Goes to Jail movie where they've got kind of really weird lighting conditions in there because of all like the low lighting situations in the prison. Let me see if I can do something here. I don't know how well this will respond to light. Sometimes that's a good test. So let's see. Pretty well, really. Like it's not really having too much, and that's getting a little weird. Making me look like I might be I'm having a little bit of a stroke, man, But depending on the angle, it seems like for the most part it's not morphing too bad or having a lot of trouble. Uh, uh, but like even the tongue actually can kind of come out of the mouth a little bit, which is like more than I've had on any of these. Because again, he's always doing wild stuff, and I think if I had somebody who was doing that enough, like if I could, maybe I should try to make a deep fake of myself, which some people have said I should do. And hey bot, how you doing, man? Um, what me? Uh, I could have them, but like I say, use myself in something and do a bunch where I'm like sticking my tongue out and see if that really could start working in a deep fake. Because most of the people I find footage of don't, haven't been doing that enough. I don't have enough source images of somebody doing that. But I will get this uploaded to the drivers. And what else am I working on? So somebody had made a request for me to try to put somebody into if you guys are familiar with let me see. Well, right. No, what I was saying though, Magnus, is if I use myself as a source character to put into something else, or I guess I don't know what good that would be unless they found a movie where somebody was sticking their tongue out and wanted it to, I've been training them against like I have I made a face set of Arnold Schwarzenegger doing really strange facial expressions, but they all show his teeth. And yeah, I was gonna say if I use myself as a source, I could do whatever the heck I wanted, and then theoretically any movie I put myself into, if the person was making like a stick their tongue out facial expression, I'd like to see if it could emulate it. I don't know how well it would work or not, but I've had some people say that I should put myself into like I thought I'd be good on how's it Kingpin in the Netflix version of Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio. I actually look a little bit like him. Some people seem to think we're built the same way. I'm the same height as he is, or I think he's 6'4", I'm 6'3", so it's pretty close. But we're a similar build, kind of look the same shaped head. People said I used to look like him when I was younger, so whatever. But anyways, so I'm working on a scene from Conan the Destroyer. I don't know that it's really going to work that well or not. Basically, the idea was to try to see if I could get the deepfake to work, even if it was completely covered by like a hand or something. And no, not really. Like it's sort of working okay, but it's like you get again, like you kind of get the more the hand covers the face, you start getting like these more see it morphing and kind of moving where the hand moves. It's like it smears. I don't know how to avoid that. Let me see. Oh, he's in Hawkeye? Okay. Didn't know that. That'd be a good one. And then what else? So I'm working on the Conan Destroyer scene, but I don't know how well that's going to pan out. And what else was I doing? I'm trying to screw around. If you guys know who Michael Ehrmantraut is, he's the guy from Breaking Bad. So I've got a Michael Ehrmantraut model going. I'm trying to see how that'll pan out if I put him into Men in Black 2 as Tommy Lee Jones in the scene where he's working in the post office, which will be really funny if it works. Let's see. Okay. Well, I could try that. That's actually, actually, when I get done here, I can train it against itself. So I can take, well, no. No. Let's see. Train it with obstructions. Well, I mean, I'm kind of doing that when I'm getting it. Like the destination footage right now that I have is, or do you mean like in the source library? You have to have parts where the person's face is blocked out. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. I guess I could just like intentionally make some copies of some of my aligned images. I'm using Millie Bobby Brown for the character. It's like the princess in the movie that we're trying to work with. So, um, yeah. Or I could just like basically draw over her face or put some kind of paste some obstacle over it and then extract it as best as possible. Or I could, yeah. All right, I have some ideas on how I can screw with that. All right, good call. Yeah, that'd be cool if I get that to work because, like I say, as it is, it's just like I say, it's doing this smearing crap, and it's not gonna work too well to fool anybody, unfortunately. But so I got those going. Hope you guys watched and liked that movie I did, or the video I did yesterday with Lady D and Leon Kennedy and whatever her name was, Jill Valentine, I think, or something was the third character, but they were all from that like G-Man footage or from Half-Life footage, source footage, where they're playing with the drawing machine. That was kind of a cool one. I got that from I think his channel's pronounced Skip Apps, and yeah, CGI stuff is interesting. I mean, it really like it wasn't amazing quality, and I don't know if it would have improved that much if I trained it further because it's like if you went and watched the original video, they all have kind of like this glossy tone to the skin. Thanks to Taurus. They have like this glossy tone to the skin, and I mean they're not real people, and the graphics aren't particularly great either. But and some of the facial expressions are like super extreme too. So it's kind of, I mean, it worked pretty well, but I had kind of thought it'd be nice if they looked slightly more like it. The only thing that has it so far, to Taurus, that I've seen is that Port Royal test from 3D Mark. It's not available in Cyberpunk yet, or if it is, I don't know how to turn it on because I tried. I couldn't find any options for it to enable it, and I Googled it, and they were saying that it wasn't launched out in the I think it's supposed to come with patch 1.7. So. I think some people got early access, like a patch, to test it early, but as far as for me, it's not in the game yet to turn it on. Let's see. Part of the problem is the angles, I think. Maybe if you find animator that would be fake. Well, yeah, like some of the angles were pretty extreme and whatnot. Like I say, the Bale model turned out pretty good. But like when it does the close up, and like if I had really spent time on it, I would have used probably, I don't know, like a color transfer mode in training or something, because the skin tones didn't quite match, and maybe a higher res version probably would have worked better. Like at least straight on, Gal Gadot on Lady D looked better, like it looked pretty clean, whereas with Kennedy it was like there was kind of some obvious. Plus he got closer up to the screen, and there was like some pockmarking in the skin and whatnot. That were kind of evident because his model's only 350 or 320, sorry, whereas the Gal Gadot model is 352 and has way higher dimensions. and so I think that that's at least in part why Godot's model worked better. Um, and then I was actually for the last scene where Valentine or whatever, I think it's Jill Valentine, does like the head throwback thing, and she's like, you know, laughing at them or whatever for being so oblivious. I couldn't find. I didn't have footage on. I was going to use Lucy Liu for that, and it didn't work when she did her head back like this. Like the nose got all garbled up. So I threw Hathaway on there, and it worked better. But it was like I don't have much footage of her doing this. It's like it's hard to find people doing this shit. Like, you know, head thrown back, laughing or something like that. It's just luck if you even find that half the time. That's why I like interviews, because people will start doing that. You know, they get told a joke or something, they'll be like, ha ha, you know, and gotcha. You know, you got to snap up that footage. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe try a deepfake on trailer for Left 4 Dead 2. I was gonna do if I can find something for it and screw around with it. What is the name of the Callisto Protocol? I think is the name of the new game that's coming out from the people that made Dead Space and looks a lot like Dead Space. You know, that's a CGI, pretty heavy CGI / good graphics in the game in general. The characters look pretty good. Let's see, Mandalorian Season 2 came out. Saw a deepfake artist use style game generating new photos. Mark Hamill. Yeah, that's Shamuk did that, Magnus. Let's see. Yeah, Callisto, I don't really even like play that many games anymore, but I'll probably play that. Let's see. Man of Medan. What is Man of Medan? Is that another game coming out? Yeah, I never did play the third one, Totoro. I played the first two also. I did beat both of those, but I never played the third one. I heard it was really different, and like a lot of people didn't like it very much. Yes, they did. I've talked to him about it. I haven't talked to him in a while. I actually don't know what's going on with him. He used to be in Discord periodically, and about the time Mamadan as a kid, Rami Malek's in it. Okay. About the time he did, or like when I did a video of Scarlett Johansson, started doing those models, he messaged me, and actually he sent me a couple of jobs because he had enough people emailing him that he didn't have time to work on them, but I never did hear from those people. I did reach out to see if they wanted me to work for, or, you know, to work with them and make whatever models they wanted, but nobody ever got back with me, so whatever. They probably just wanted to work with him. A lot of that stuff is scams too. It's like, I don't know what to say about scams, but people will flake out. Like, I've had some people that have paid me, which is great, but a lot of times, like, people will say, yeah, it's annoying, but it's like trying to deal with Craigslist or Facebook Market or anything where you buy things, and anytime you have to deal with people directly, it's like sometimes they're reliable, sometimes they're not. It just is what it is. Disney made Shamuk. He does have an NDA, yes. Like, as far as I know, he can't say anything about how he does anything that he does. You know, which is fine. He and I had, you know, a conversation about it, and it's like I did kind of explain how I was doing things, and he did some explaining of some of his techniques, but he couldn't go into much detail as to anything involving the Luke Skywalker stuff. He couldn't talk about it at all, which is fine. You know, I think since that time, and that's been a while since I've talked to him. Like, I think it's been about 8 months. I haven't seen him in Discord at all, not even online. Like, you know, I don't expect him to talk to me all the time. I just talk to him, like, say, just a couple times, but I do kind of wonder what he's doing. Maybe he kind of got away from doing it out of the job. Yeah, my problem is I don't really know how to do the post-processing stuff. I need to get, well, I'm so freaking lazy about stuff sometimes, and I'm really impatient about things too. Like, the faster the hardware is, that's great because it makes me wait less amount of time. But a lot of this stuff, it's like if it's not done in a couple of days, I get bored and I go on and do something else. That's partly why I crank out. Sometimes I'll have, like, you know, 4 or 5 models that'll get uploaded at one time, because it's like I worked on one of them for a little bit and got bored and come back to it later. And so, I mean, eventually it pans out and they all get done, but it's like for a while, you know, Jim here, I was kind of working with him on and off for months, and it's like I'd never get back to it, or I didn't like the video I was trying to put him in, and it's like, it's not really working that good. I'll do something else. And then maybe I'd get a request for something else, and I'd work that and totally forget about working with Jim again for a while. When I did my tutorial on how to make Deepfacelab models, his actually didn't come out very good. That was back when I was still doing 224 res pretty much all the time, and didn't really have some of the techniques I've been using, like training RTM models up a lot and recycling the files, and like using the RTT encoder and decoder files. Yeah, After Effects I've heard is pretty much the way to go to do that kind of stuff, but they charge you for it, of course, and I already pay for Premiere Pro. If they'd make some kind of a package deal where I could get it for like another $10 a month, I'd be okay with that. But I think it's at least another $20 a month. And I don't know, man, like I've got so many bills. It's kind of like, what more do you want to spend money on? But I guess I really should stop being, yeah, I mean, it is kind of pricey. It's like, between the Premiere Pro and Premiere After Effects, it'd be like $40+ a month just for software. See, always pull some photos, Getty Images. Getty Images. Okay, I haven't used that before. Sometimes I've actually like put other people in for like 1 or 2 frames of video. Like try to find somebody that looks really close. Let's see. I mean, I don't mind paying for Premiere Pro. One of my problems though with it is like, actually there's a couple issues with it. One is it doesn't support MKV files at all, which is, I don't understand why. I want to say it's stupid. There's probably a technical reason, but I don't understand what it would be. You have to use like MPEG-4s. It doesn't know what a WebM file is. It doesn't know what an MKV file is. Now, I've tried to find a plugin to fix that, and so far I haven't found one. So if it exists, then great, but I don't know. I don't understand why they wouldn't support a very commonly used format like MKV, because most of the videos that I download off YouTube to use for stuff like this are MKV. So then I have to convert them all into MPEG-4 just so I can edit them in frickin' Premiere Pro. Let's see, wax. Oh yeah, yeah. Wax figures. I thought it'd be fun to like shutter encoder. I use Handbrake. I can basically import an entire folder of the so basically what I do like to get footage for stuff like this is, first off, I go on YouTube, unless I'm ripping Blu-rays, but I'll go on YouTube and I'll like do a search for that person doing interviews or doing like movie screens or something, and I'll go through a few different search criteria, like Dwayne Johnson 4K, Dwayne Johnson interview, Dwayne Johnson in whatever movie, etc. And I'll go through and create like a playlist in YouTube, and start saving all the videos to that playlist. Then later, and I can do that sometimes if I'm just goofing around, or if I have on my lunch break at work or something, I can get a list of, like I say, 20, 30 different videos kind of in that queue already. When I get home, I just kind of import all those into my 4K downloader software. It downloads all the files in one folder. Then I import that folder into Handbrake and batch convert them into MPEG-4s, which can take quite a while, because if you're dealing with like 4K footage, even like a 5-minute 4K video can take, maybe 10 minutes or something to convert into, MPEG-4. So it could take like an hour or something just to convert all that stuff. Then I throw it all into Premiere Pro and start editing like out anybody I don't want to use from the material. So like, let's see. Movie or MXF is higher than MP4. Compression is pretty intense. Yeah. Right. Something I do sometimes to avoid having to do all that crap is I'll just download all those MKVs and one at a time rip them out into separate folders, and then combine them all into one folder at the end, and then because that avoids having to do like re-encoding, or like having to run them through Premiere Pro or anything like that, and like reducing the quality. And that way I can just keep them in MKV format and not screw around with converting it. That can be a little bit of a time saver. Like if I'm only going to do like 1 or 2 clips that way, I just like unpack my face set and then make extra folders named like source 1, source 2, source 3, etc. And then just rip all the files out in each individual folder, and then combine them at the end and put them back in with the face set after I excite drain them. So, all right, guys, I think I've been at this for a little bit of time here, and I've got to do, I don't know, I'm going to probably go work on another one of my shows downstairs or something. What's up? Yes. Image sequences are pretty cool. One thing I noticed about that though, like if you go check that, like if you looked at that Tron video that I did, I just made that out of an image sequence, and it's like the frame rate kind of was squirrely when I played it back. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Spotlight Gamer. I'll get this uploaded here in just a minute, guys. Like I said, it'll take probably 5-10 minutes to upload it. I don't have a particularly fast upstream speed, but I'll get that uploaded here, and you guys can have access here shortly and play around with it as you see fit. Yep. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later.